George and Heidi, living in the Philippines. Philippine antics on my screen. Laughs and moments, fun and bright. Streaming joy every week. Life can be tough, so you've got to be free. What you feed your mind and soul is up to you. Live stream king, queen on the rise. In the tropics islands, feeling free. Adventures under the sun, we keep repeating. Learn love and life. Welcome to our crazy life. It's not what you say to everyone else that determines your life. It's what you whisper to yourself that has the greatest power. Come and see the fun we share. Life in the Philippines, everywhere. From the city lights to the beach.
It's like having your junk in my mouth.
What the freak? Oh my gosh, you're gonna choke. You're gonna choke.
That's what I said this morning.
Right?
You
Well, it's like you hold it in, you know.
it's Mogu, which is one of the drinks here, and it's got nata in it, which is basically just firm Jello. And it is. I keep
That's
forgetting
good stuff. That's
when
good
you try
stuff.
to drink it, it's got chunks of junk in it.
It's kind of like eating soup, drinking soup. You don't really drink the soup. You slurp it, and then if anything comes in, you know, you don't drink it. Basically, it's not a drinking
You
drink.
filter it like a shark.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you don't drink it. Drink it.
yeah.
Good
Good morning.
morning, magandang maga, masamting abak, mayong buntag sa tanan. Actually, before we start, let me show you. Speaking of drinks, since we were talking about drinks, here's a drink we came across, or rather, Heidi decided to purchase.
This is horrible.
It was supposed to be a surprise for me, which again I appreciate it. I really do. It's called Royal Crown Cola. Royal Crown Cola.
But this is allegedly the original formula.
Now, this is something Heidi will not touch at all now that she knows what it tastes like.
Yeah.
So if you pour it out, it's like regular cola, as you guys can see, right? Now, when you drink it, it's like regular cola. When you drink it, you would swear, guys, we read the label top to bottom, examine it. It has 0 alcohol. It's a non-alcoholic.
I think it just
beverage.
tastes like old whiskey or something.
Correct.
Without the whiskey.
It tastes like, that's what it tastes like. It tastes like molasses flavored whiskey. You'd swear it has alcohol in it, but it doesn't.
Yeah,
because when I first drank it, I was like, babe, I'm not supposed to have alcohol. I said, this tastes like alcohol.
He got a rabies shot a second set.
Yeah,
because George has
4 shots
rabies.
total. But yeah, no. So that being said, if you guys want to have a non-alcoholic beverage that tastes like whiskey, that's it. Royal Crown Cola.
Which is really weird that you would.
What's that?
Just weird.
Oh, second story of weird. For those of you who watch our previous live, Heidi decided to grab. No, not really.
I guess it's something. Yeah, we were talking about the food in the last
we're still
thing.
building up.
Yeah, we're still building the room. I guess he wants to.
The nip it.
Well, I would take it out of the package because it doesn't even say it on the front of it.
So remember, I said it's 2 Devil's Food Cake, Angel's Food Cake with a cream in the center. That's exactly what it is. You guys can see it right now. That's it. And what was it? Number one worst food or something in the Philippines. It's like, who doesn't like Angel's Food Cake with cream in the middle? I mean,
yeah.
No, it's really good. It's actually very popular here. That's why that list, I was like, you need crickets.
Thaddeus said RC is still sold in Western New York.
RC used to be sold in the States when they were young. Now, I'm an RC drinker. Heidi's an RC drinker. RC is alive and well here. I don't remember it tasting like this. I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, unless you're talking about RC Royal Crown as in the original formula, I don't know. I mean, I get it's RC, but I guess I've never tasted it that way before. I mean, it's possible.
All right, guys. Today we are going to talk about the 7 Americans that have been booted from the Philippines, and it's not the first time. We've had this discussion about this, and everybody probably knows why. Well, hey, but they had actually a number. I believe they said last year is 4,000 people, close to 4,000 people were actually denied entry. It could be a lot more than that, but I had put it somewhere. It might actually be in I have a little video that was put together.
They intercept a lot, yeah.
So it might have been 3,300 or something, 4,000.
But they don't usually group them like this. Usually,
those were grouped as touchers. So that's the word we'll use for them today. Inappropriate touchers, although this happens to me on a daily basis from George and the people that are asking for money for Molly Pascal.
Well,
I say Molly. That's the holiday.
Pamasko po.
I said Molly Pascal. Anybody got any Molly?
You can't
Is Molly
say
there?
that, right?
I'm asking for money. So we got a little video, and basically, and that's not like others that are actually denied entry into the Philippines, because they're denied for many reasons. And we want to hear from you guys as far as, like, had you had any issues trying to enter the Philippines? There have been like other issues, like people that are supposed to have an outro ticket have been denied. Some have been told about purchasing the ones online, or some are actually even known to print fake tickets that they find on Google and try to use them. I don't know how they do that, but dealing with immigration officers will be a individual basis, and each airport will be different on how the entry goes. We've had the American just a few months ago that got into a big argument over his entry requirements, and he got into it, and then they banned him after that. So it just doesn't have to be touchers, although that is a big group of them. And so we'll go over that list, go in and say our highs. We did get something from the U.S. Embassy, and I've been watching it slowly in the news. You might want to go through and say let's see if I can find it, because it came through in regards to the dengue outbreak. Okay, let's see. That was over the voting. They just had an online. Let's see if I can. The health alert increased dengue risk in the Philippines. They're saying that it's almost double. And here's the thing. Did you know that almost 500 people are unalive right now this year alone?
How many?
500. So it's more than you actually think. But the Philippines has been added to the CDC's global dengue travel health notice due to the higher than usual numbers of dengue. This means travelers of the countries may face an increased risk. So basically, they discussed that it's at level 1, and they actually said action to take: use EPA registered insect repellent, which I believe you can get that from China. Wear long sleeve shirts and pants when outdoors, and they recommend that you sleep in the air conditioning, which can be very expensive. So to avoid mosquito exposure.
Well, you can sleep on if you don't have AC, you can use a fan, because mosquitoes aren't strong flyers. No, really, they're not.
That's true.
But it has to be I mean, whatever's not what's outside the blowing range of the fan is fair game for them, of course.
Well, and
But
we've discussed the nets too. Because a
speaking
lot of the
speaking of
guys-
unalive, just these past 3 storms alone, there have been 25 casualties. So I'm not surprised with the number. And dengue, of course, because of the floods and everything and all these,
that's the increase of water and conditions have
Correct.
caused more.
it kind of provocated it. Yes, correct. Um,
Yeah.
we're going to talk about flirt today, I guess.
Yeah, 208,000 dengue cases. So it's double.
Yeah, the ones that you see. I mean, God bless their hearts. You see the little kids playing in the water, in the dirty water in the streets and everything. And unfortunately, that's the thing that pops in my mind is the carriers and everything else.
So here's one in Asia Pacific. News said that give or take 21,000 patients, 8,000, which is weird, region, 8,000 cases, 23 unalived in the Ilo province, 3,200 cases, 10 unalived in Negros. So they're just talking about a specific area. And that was just updated. So in the last 8 months. So yeah, I think they're saying it's a total of 500 that have passed on. But yeah, just be careful if you guys are here. But yeah, just be careful.
Yeah, well, anywhere you go, even if it's a different state, just be careful. I mean, if you're not in your own regular environment, things change. MB, hello, Philippine Antics Squad. Hey, MB. First, Claire Tyson, hello, Heidi and George. Hello, roomies.
Good
K
morning.
Dallas. Hey, K Dallas. Thaddeus says, human free will, God's greatest gift to the human race. There you go. Hey, Ted, how you doing? Hello, beautiful people.
Good morning.
Ted Dingen says, wait, yeah, oh yeah, okay, yeah, no. Ted says, RC used to be sold in the States when I was younger, and
Well, they
Thaddeus
still have
says,
it, yeah.
still
They have the blue
sold in Western.
cans, RC
I guess
colas.
I guess it's not as popular as it used to be. I guess. I mean, one in the pink racing RC cola
Good
in a
morning.
glass bottle with a moon pie first snack. Actually, that inipit that I had, it's not moon pie. I get it. I love moon pies, by the way. It did go well with this. Yes. Thaddeus says, I mentioned in one of your previous lives when you purchase an international ticket, if you're in Wash, there will be a special code printed out on it. Yes. On the top right, I believe, there's like a series of there's a series of number and letters. And then the last 3 initials, they're usually letters, I believe, that indicates, what kind of things people have to watch out for. You know what I'm saying?
What do you mean?
Yeah, no, they do. They print it on your ticket that, hey, watch out for this guy, but they have different codes, meaning, for example,
I
if
have no idea.
right, well, yeah, so let's say,
Is that what he's talking about?
yeah, it
though?
doesn't have to be necessarily criminal either. Like, if you're just a difficult customer or client or that kind, it's on your ticket. If it's, yeah. Yeah, this is a real thing. Yes.
So why would they even bother giving them a ticket with a code inside? Are you talking about like after they boot them out, or
No, before.
So say you're in New York, you're saying they're going to
No,
stamp
no.
his ticket with criminal in advance and let him come all the way to the Philippines?
Correct. I get your point. It's like, why give him a ticket in the first place? I get it. I get it. But that's them, not me. As I always say.
I don't know.
Sarah Tyson says, George, Royal Crown is a rye whiskey. I think Seagram's Brewery. Really?
So maybe that was supposed to be an unalcoholic.
Maybe that's what this is.
There's
Because this
says cola on it.
this doesn't taste like RC. I mean, I know it's Royal Crown RC, but it doesn't taste like RC. Actually, I can go to the store right now and buy RC cola right now. And I've drank RC since I was a little kid growing up. And I bought it in the States too.
Yeah, I mean, it does say Royal Crown,
It-
which
yeah.
is.
But it doesn't taste like the RC cola. It really tastes like I said, I inspected the can up
Yeah,
top to
there's
bottom. I
nothing,
inspected
no
the can
percentage.
top to bottom to make sure it's non-alcoholic. Because again,
Oh, no.
I'm not allowed to, because it would neutralize
But it's
the
weird.
vaccine.
I've seen items here where their labeling is not
Yeah.
up front.
No, I'm sure
on
it's
it.
not. I'm sure it's not. I mean, definitely not. Just saying. I'm kidding. Anyway, but that would explain the taste. Maybe that's what they're after. Maybe the flavor. Smile and be happy. Thumbs up. Thank you so much, Smile and be happy. Thumbs up. Oh, Ted says Crown Royal.
Yeah, it would be Crown Royal, but it says, yeah,
No.
here they're saying
No,
here.
Sarah says no. There is a Royal Crown.
It does say here the Royal Crown, which is from RC Cola. It said that it's a diet soda with Splenda. Now that I would believe because it's got a weird.
Right.
So no, it shows the can. That's what it's saying.
Now Crown Royal. That's where we're talking. Just saying. I mean, that's where it's at. Best Crown. One of my
Yeah,
favorites.
see, that's the bottle because they
Yeah.
show the bottle and the can. So I guess that's.
Yeah, if me and Heidi had a favorite drink together, it would be Crown Royal apple flavor. Right?
That purple bong water was.
That's a mixed drink, and that depends on the person making it. I've only met one person who can get it right. Just saying.
No, it just says here it is an old. It's meant to be an old flavored old soda, and that's what it tastes like. Tastes like the hooves of a horse. Although, I'd like to know how I would know. I guess I kiss George's feet every now and then.
Well, I guess black icicle tastes better.
Yes, it does. Who's your friend?
Hmm.
Oh, did you see what was across the street yesterday? Have you seen that oversized Siamese cat?
No.
Oh my God.
It probably belongs to the
There's
animal people.
Yeah, there's. You think we're bad? Like this guy's got like 8 dogs and 18 cats, and this guy's crazy.
They have
animal.
pets, and they're outside in cages.
Yeah,
But anyway.
no, it's an oversized Siamese.
No,
So
I'm sure
I thought
it
it was a
is.
little Chihuahua or something and he was pretty good size. But the grass has grown across the street in that field. I call it a field, but it's enough to probably build 2 houses in it. And all of a sudden, it looked like a lion or something coming out of the grass. I was like, "What is a little dog or something?" And I looked, and he popped out, and he's a Siamese.
Yeah, it's probably his.
Yeah.
That's another thing. It's
And
like,
I said, no. I said, we've got the cats down to just a couple now. And I'm like, yeah. No,
his pets are kind of loose.
Yeah, he lets them up.
Yeah. And we treated one of them because he was in bad shape.
Yeah, Sarah said she Googled it, and there is a can of Royal Crown whiskey cola. Be careful.
Grandma said, when in doubt, throw it out. I like that one. When
No,
in
I
doubt,
just
throw it out.
checked. That was the one I just showed you guys.
I'm still here.
Yeah. No, it shows, under non-alcohol. So, yeah. Yeah, because
Racer X.
although we could start that whole series of your rabies shot again. You probably need it.
No, I don't want to. My arms are so sore. I think
You still smoking cigarettes?
What?
Well, you can't smoke at the same time as your
Who are
rabies.
you talking to? I don't smoke. No. It gets progressively worse, I think, because the first 2 shots, I'm okay. The second shots, that was last week, and it still hurts to this day. And in fact, I have welts on my both my arms. So I think it gets progressively worse.
You say hi to Racer.
Yeah. Hi,
That's
George,
odd.
South Carolina house. Hi, peeps.
Hi.
Yeah. What? Hey, hey, Mike, how you doing? Yes, we're wondering too if you're still in the hospital too. Mike, are you still in the hospital?
Yeah. Yeah, evidently it was just me watching that live stream yesterday. So yes, George. Yes, Mike is out of the hospital. So
Sarah Tyson, where's Chosen One? We need his expertise. There you go.
chosen one.
Actually, Joseph would know too. Joseph would know too. Yeah. Spamby Abby says George joking. He be slurring his words.
Right.
Yes, our Philippine journey home one. Oh dang! Ted Dengen says Chosen One is still making bail.
He probably is. Probably started some
Oh my
ruckus in
gosh.
California or New York.
Oh, that's
or
right.
He's in the U.S.
Yeah, that's right. He's in the U.S. He's in the U.S. of A. That's right. Um. Yeah, good sir. Hopefully you're resting. Right, Mike. Hopefully you're resting. Correct.
Right.
Oh, do I play that or do I do? Or you read that first?
No, I would play it. We'll play this clip and then get into the topic, guys.
Yeah, no.
So if this so we'll play the clip.
So if I have a boing, then
No, if that stays the same, you do that and that's it.
so if it turns flaccid, got it.
Mention that one more time and your career is going to be flaccid.
Flaccid, moist.
Right. Okay, let's get to these photos.
I should sell flaccid, moist.
Are you hitting play?
I am.
That is play?
I have to rewind the tape.
No. Are you serious?
Yes. See, it's tape.
Okay, let's stop right here. Here's the first.
That guy's really shifty, guys. Really shifty.
George has not seen this, by the way.
This guy's really shifty. You better watch out for this guy.
I could have found a better photo than that one. Korean fugitive. LA arrested at FBI head office. Well, they got that creep. Okay.
Not gonna lie, a lot of Filipinos think I am Korean. So
Well, how about that guy that I was just showing you today? They thought he was
I forgot his
Chinese
name.
and
He's a popular
Japanese.
comedian, but
Yeah. And it turns out that he is Korean, but he does look mostly Japanese. If you had to guess based on him, I would say he's got a.
Brian Nichols says looks like George. Right.
Shifty, man.
Yeah, I had to pull an Alice so I can be with you guys in this live today. Correct.
Yeah, George had to sell a whole lot of tail. All right.
Did he
sell made? Oh, snap. They do have you.
Oh,
How tall are you?
Bart says, hello, he does look Korean.
I had no idea I put this together. The topic.
I'm 2 inches shorter.
You're 5'6"?
Uh-huh.
Well, you can see some of the photos where we're standing up, the height difference.
I'm not short. I am short, but not that short. But yeah, I'm 5'.
Does that actually say you're 5'8" there?
Well, that's what RacerX says. That's 2 inches. Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Let's play this through. We're gonna play this through about the 7 guys. All right, there they are. Let's stop it there. All right. All right. So here it is. The 7 guys intercepted. The first one, Can't tell you which one. You guys take a guess. Dustin Oville, 57, who arrived at Ninoy from San Francisco. He was sentenced in 06 for inappropriately doing something to a 4-year-old. And we have to put it in this terms because this is more about these guys being banned. And again, I think the count was close to 4,000 alone for these type of gentlemen. It's probably way higher. I would say it's probably way higher than that. And the next guy is Francisco Javier Alvarado, 39. He was sentenced of child porn, or the rhyming word with that, video, obscene material. The next guy would be Michael Allen Turner, 41. He arrived from Hong Kong into Mactan Airport, Cebu. You can, he was sentenced in 03. And then there was Matthew Wall, 46. That was it. Hold on. Here, pause that. Don't go any. That's, can't you tell? That's crickets, man. Look how empty the place
What's
is.
up with a roach?
That's a cricket too, but I put a brown one because that's in Davao. That's
Oh,
like
I
that way
see it
out. That's
now.
a desert.
No,
cricket.
no.
Means it's
On
out in
my
the middle of
screen,
nowhere.
there's a bar, so I can't see
Well,
it
right
very
here,
well.
here, there you go. See,
Yeah. No, no.
because
There's
I
a
was
bar
laughing
blocking
hard
it, so I can't see it.
because a lot of times, like this is like 9 in the morning. Some of these airports, including over here by us, can be really empty most of the time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
So a lot
definitely.
of, although there's a lot of visitors that come here, so I'm like, I started laughing at myself. I'm sitting there drinking my coffee and I'm cracking myself up. I was like, dang, crickets, man. Look at the place. It's like crickets. And I said, but being this is Davao area, I'm going to put the brown one in there.
What? What's that have to do with anything?
A lot of brown people there. Next.
Well, there's a lot of brown people in the Philippines, just saying. I mean, it is the Philippines.
I know that because I'm probably the whitest
I
person
swear,
without the
I
drip.
swear.
Without the princess drip, I'm probably the
An
whitest.
Expat YouTuber said this. Here in the Philippines, I've never seen so many Filipinos.
Well, hold on. So wait a minute. Let's get to Matthew Wall when he arrived at Ninoy
Wait, do you
in
want
1999. Well, hold on. His was for, wow, I can't believe they put this in here. I can't. Hot dog in the tailpipe situation.
Yes.
And
Yes.
but it was with an 18-year-old,
Wait,
which
that's the
we will
Taiwan one.
discuss. Okay,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
so we'll discuss.
Yes.
Did you get the list of ages and stuff? Because
Well,
there was this whole thing with regular guy where there was this whole slew of things about dating, consent, and all that. We'll get
we'll
into
get to
that.
We'll get to that.
And then the last guy, let's see, Todd Bercheret, 41, came from Qatar. Remember, Qatar, they're mentioning these other areas. Some people do direct flights in. It's because they could have actually been in those areas for a while, or it's because it was their layover. So they won't see him as coming. Like the one guy from San Francisco probably came in directly from one of those direct flights now that they have a lot more direct flights. But it says here it was an imposition involving a 13-year-old. And then on William, wow, I can't make this up. That looks like his name's Wankat.
I don't remember all the time who committed where. It doesn't say where.
It just says gross imposition. Maybe he dropped his pants like the guys truck drivers do all the time. It just says gross.
Yeah, it doesn't say where it happened.
And the guy's name is Wankat. William Wankat. I can't make this stuff up. Speaking of crickets, hit the next play. Let's see the level of crickets for the airports. Why I'm discussing these last ones. See, no crickets, man. That's Clark International. See the peeps there. So I didn't give no crickets for this level. That's Clark International. That's the arrival. Look at all them white people. Next. That's something George doesn't see every day. He sees one big white person. I give 3 crickets to Mactan, Cebu, because this was like 1 in the afternoon. They must have been out for lunch or something, man. Cricket. You do the crickets.
Okay, well, I can't do the sound. I'm not that special.
You're not that special.
No.
That's George's word of the
Now,
week
the
because
thing
he's
is-
called me special 3 times.
you are special.
Let me tell you what William Wankett did. Get your hands off me, Wankett. That's what I'm gonna start calling you as Wankett.
Oh, right. I didn't clean
He
it.
was denied entry. Yeah, you're lucky I'm feeling better. He came from Guam, which, by the way, I have some information on Guam about the medical. We were talking about medical the other day. If we get time, we'll go through it again. And then he was 06, and that was issues with a 12-year-old. So yeah, let's move
Wow,
forward. Let's see the crickets. Okay, that got one cricket because there were some people there. See him over
Well,
there
there's an
shopping.
explanation
Okay,
for
here,
that.
stop.
What's that?
Okay, so these are recently because there's like a whole slew of a list. 3 Americans, heads banned, and that's May 24th. American and Irish offenders, there were 114 of them. They said they banned the entry of 114 of them, and I don't know if that was in a month or. And then the last one would be about some additional guys that came in. There were 3 that came in. Now, these guys all came in on different times, but there's been times that they banned them all in the same day. So I did want to say that. So, yeah.
Is that it?
I don't know. That might.
Yeah. No, the reason why I ask, because I mean, not picking on anybody, but I hate to say this, and I'm not picking on anybody. These gentlemen look very generic, and I'm sure, as Cyrus Tyson says, "Oh my
2
God!"
of them, actually 3 look alike.
Well, actually, some of these look like vloggers that you know. I'm not even making that up. Their faces are so common that
Here's the crazy.
you know somebody that looks one of these guys, and just saying, "I know I can," you know.
Here's the thing. I'm wondering why they attempt. Is that you, Zoom?
Oh dang!
All I want to do was a Zoom. He loves me.
Yeah, no.
Okay. So why the attempt, guys? Why do you think these guys keep attempting this? Because I'm like, are they here like on a family vacation? They brought the fam with them. We don't know. There might have been 6 family members with them. You know, maybe these guys are cured like ham.
Well, yeah. Well, even
CL
even if they are cured,
CLH.
or assuming they are, it still doesn't. By law, they're not allowed to.
Well,
Now-
and that's the biggest people on the list. We've been through this conversation, you know, the last year or 2, especially about people denied entry. You're going to hear all kinds, but I'm going to tell you right now, I'd probably say 99% of them are these types that are
Right.
actually banned. A lot of people think, you know, that every single felon, every single person is banned from the country. And I would disagree because you know, it's not true. They are really on the lookout. There's like where's that co-op? How do you say they got like groups of people, mercenary? They got people that actually look for these guys here actively. There's a
They
lot
have
of
bounty
from America.
hunters.
Yeah, so they have a lot of that.
They
going.
they have expat bounty hunters too. No, really, they
I
have
just
expat bounty
seen
hunters.
a group of 4 Filipino women, and you wouldn't even know it. It would look like Baby May and her crew. They look like this. They were on the news the other day. They actually look for expats.
There are
that
expat
actually,
bounty hunters. No,
yeah,
it's not a
they
joke.
go after them. It's not
like-
even
And to answer Heidi's question earlier, they try to enter the Philippines because honestly, there's the big giant misconception that you can get away with everything in the Philippines, which is a big myth.
and they've really been on the bounce.
I mean, for
the
crying
pandemic.
out loud, they got Ghoul, and she paid millions. You know what I'm saying? It's really a big myth that you can get away with everything in the Philippines. That's not true. Yeah, that's why they try.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, but well, you know, I mean, usually we do like spill the tea, which I guess we can still talk about things that happened in the week, but this is the topic we wanted to lead off with because
of more to it. Yes.
Yeah, and more to it. You got more?
Yeah, we'll talk about, anyway. But before we go to that, Brian Eagle says they're out to lunch, that's why it's empty. RC
Red
says one
crickets?
is sleeping. Oh, on the
Oh, there's
lineup.
different time
On the lineup.
frames.
Now, to answer why the airports in Cebu and in Davao are empty, they're really not. It's just that terminal. The reason being
Crickets.
is because it's rare to get a direct flight from wherever you're coming from to Cebu or Davao. Do they exist? Yes. Is it hard to get? Yes.
They're like sub
Kind of like one of our friends recently got a connecting flight
Yeah, they're
to
not all international. Are they all
Iloilo,
I don't know.
and that was hard. You know
Are
what I'm
those
saying?
all international? Besides, I know Macton is.
Right. Well,
Macton.
yeah, but
But what
problem is
about Davao? Is that an
they
international or
have, but
international? That's just not domestic. I'm not sure, guys. That I'm not sure on that.
well, I don't
Never
know.
been there,
But
don't
either
know.
way, most of the time have to fly it. You have to get a connecting flight. Yeah.
Hmm.
So that's why the terminals are empty. It's not because they really are. That particular terminal is empty, but not the whole airport is. Yeah.
Oh snap! Put that back. Can we see that from the beginning?
Which one?
Sarah said, "Hold on, see if you can."
What?
Our,
Oh, the lineup.
yeah, she's right. She said number 2 looks like Biden. A little bit, yeah. When he was younger, especially, yeah. What?
Nothing. Go ahead.
What do you mean? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know who that looks like?
They all look like somebody. I mean, that looks like the guy we met up with in right here. Just saying.
But it does. It looks like
Yeah,
a younger Biden.
No, a lot of them look like somebody you know, or they really do. They're very generic looks. Um, again, not pick on anybody. It's just
I just
corner
wish
clubhouse cobalt. Hello all. Smile and be happy
one
says,
day you guys are gonna crap your pants when
Hey,
George
corner.
says, "I'm picking on you."
You're not.
Backpedaling. No, it's the way you do that. I'm not picking on anybody. I said, I wish you would.
Actually, I'm not, because actually I didn't say in a particular name. But
Please pick on somebody today.
Smile and be happy says these vile people should not be put on. See, that's what Heidi said. Is if they knew, why bother?
Well, and I don't understand from the very, very
Because
get-go.
honestly, I've thought the same thing. Because I already knew about the codes a long time ago. But it's like, yeah, why?
And here's the thing: we've said that, many channels have said that everybody deserves a second chance, but at some point, nobody can stand those type of people. I get the when like nobody, even down to the criminals themselves in jail, cannot stand. Those people will be outed immediately. They're lucky to survive a jail stay or a prison stint. So it's like they do find, even among the code of the code and gangster of the gangsters and jailers of the jailers and
Yeah.
everybody, it is 100%. So I'm surprised 100% that they're able to obtain passports, but they do. So we
Yeah.
get it. Things can be just it is.
Ted says they do look like people you think you may know. No, really, they do. They're very generic. It's like, wait a minute.
Right.
Now Razor X has a point. What happens when you step off the plane and get denied entry? Do you find a flight back to ASA? Now, do you pay for your own return flight? Yes. The Philippine government is not going to pay for it. The U.S. government or wherever you're from, odds are they won't pay for it. Not that way anyway.
I
not
would
what
have to
you may
find
think.
out. I'm pretty sure because
And they actually, you're stuck at the airport, kind of like Tom Hanks terminal. You're kind of stuck at the airport and you're restricted to a little area here in the Philippines anyway. In the Philippines, they restrict you to an area.
unless you're convicted of something here and you have to go through full trial and you've done something here and then they catch you, then you of course go over to detention center and you'd be sitting where Zoom is,
Right.
if it's in
If
certain areas, because he was only put in that place because of
Right.
that was where they
well,
had picked
that's
him
where I was
up.
getting at. If you haven't committed anything, you're just denied entry. Lack of, for
Did you see that
example.
one?
Oh my gosh. So
Ted, we were just looking at
Yeah.
my dog ate my homework and then my immigrant ate my dog.
Right.
Then an immigrant ate my dog.
I've-
Oh my
I've
god.
heard of that way before the immigration thing. But
Well, that's been updated since the
well, that's what I said. Way
discussion.
before the immigration thing. but
Yeah.
it's an old joke.
Yeah.
I would know. I wasn't in.
I was trying to find the full story because they said what they did. These guys got detained right away.
Right. That's what I was getting at. Now, keep in mind again, if, for example, you got denied entry because, for example, lack of inoculation, lack of a vaccine, that kind of deal, they do restrict it to a certain area, and that's it. But if you committed a crime, different story. That's when what Heidi said, they take you to detention center. Two different things there. I mean, so basically, you're kind of like free when you haven't done anything, which makes sense. I mean,
It just says they were all turned away and they were boarded on the next available flight to their port of origin. So here's the messed up part. Well, their port of origin. Yeah, that makes sense.
No,
they have
they-
to go back to the U.S. But I don't know. I mean, is that still an open situation if they say their port of origin?
Well,
If they came from Hong Kong?
they go back to Hong Kong. No ifs and buts. Yes.
Yeah, their
No.
port of origin. Their
Yeah.
origin
No ifs and buts.
would have been, but that's even if they came from
And-
the U.S.
and they
is
have-
where the origin.
Now, as far as payment goes, again, the Philippines definitely not going to pay for it. but
I can't say
The airline, see, that's what I was getting at. The airlines will have to duke it out whether who's going to pay for it or not, because that's why certain airlines, like when we flew Singapore Air, they gave us a hard time because the lady actually told me, we are not going to pay for your return tickets if you get denied. What I'm saying is
No, they told us on that
Correct.
if we got there, because I came in originally on the Billick buy-in, and so at first that's why they went through our paperwork with fine tooth comb in the beginning in New York. So we went from Mexico, not into New York, into Los Angeles. We have footage of how empty. Talk about crickets. That was like double crickets there. There was nobody. Nobody was allowed in the airport at the time. No, because they said that if they did, I think it's on the airlines if they get through, because they said that it would be their responsibility regardless. But I think it's different when they totally deny based on them not wanting to be here. I think it's still on the person, but I'm trying to. Is anybody coming up with?
yeah. Now, some of you are wondering about the 18-year-old, right? Because there was this gentleman, I don't remember his name. Don't care to. Now, he got grouped into with these gentlemen because he basically, had relations with an 18-year-old girl, okay, or woman.
According to this, real quick, the airlines are the ones on the hook that allow them to come through. That's what it says. So I guess immigration denying them. It said for whatever reasons. It says that.
Okay. Yeah, but Philippines definitely not going to pay for
But
it.
the
nor is
airlines,
the U.S.
But the airlines
Or wherever
is
they're
not exactly should be on the hook for somebody's full criminal. But you just said in the corner of their thing they know about
That's
it.
the thing. Again, it's kind of weird that they let them board knowing there's an issue.
Well, here's the thing: do international flights run everything on the way out? I mean, I'm assuming they do.
Well, they run it the moment you buy the ticket. They have a list. There's a list, guys. I mean, it's no secret. There's a list.
Mm.
They run your name against the list. So as I was saying, now one of these gentlemen, had relations with an 18-year-old, right? But he's on the list. Why? Because up until January 1st, 2023,
Says it right there.
legal age in Taiwan was 20 years old. He committed the crime.
Yeah, because there was an 18-year-old.
Way before that timeline. So even though she was 18, now remember, he's an American. Of course, by default.
Oh, we were talking about the age.
Yeah, by default, age of consent in most Americans is 18 years old, right? So he went to Taiwan. I'm pretty sure that's what he thought, but not, obviously. So, boom. You got ACON'd. You know what I'm saying? Now, again, as of January 1st, 2023, legal age in Taiwan is 18 years old. Now, there's caveats to all of these.
Get the song stuck in
Right.
my-
Now, the caveats is I said legal age, not age of consent. Keep in mind, those are two separate entities. Legal age and age of consent. Now, legal age is when a person's individual. He doesn't need their parents anymore. They're responsible for everything that they do in their life, whether it's a misdemeanor, felony, whatever, or anything like that. That's legal age.
If
Age
they
of
still got
consent,
the sniffles, leave them in the piffles.
right? Now, age of consent. What's the age of consent in Taiwan? I believe it's 16. Now, here's the thing. You're like, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense.
I think it was
She's
Japan too,
she's
or Japan
18.
was
Right,
13.
right. I was trying to stay in Taiwan first because I'm trying to clarify why an 18-year-old he got in trouble.
Ah,
Because age of consent in Taiwan is 16, and you're like, wait a minute. But she's 18. She's age of consent. Age of consent only applies if the parents agree to it in any country. So it doesn't mean that
just putting there. Go ahead.
it doesn't mean that the age of consent, for example, in Japan is 13, that you can, dip your wick into
Crazy.
in, that's a
Any
different
Asian?
story entirely. Right. You
A
you
tomato?
can't do that because age of consent, if they're minors, you still need the parents' permission or approval, regardless of age of consent. Guys, remember that. Plus, there's another thing, and I've always said this. I did not make the law. I'm just telling you guys. There's always the Romeo and Juliet clause.
Yeah, which exists.
Right, Romeo and Juliet clause, for those of you who are not familiar with it. Now, it varies per country. For example, in Taiwan, Romeo and Juliet clause, the age is, well, actually, yeah, it's 3 years. 3 years. No, here it's 3 years too. No, they're the same, I guess. So you have to be
Yeah,
within
but
3 years of age. So, for example, in Japan, like I said, this is the big giant thing that a lot of people don't realize or don't bother researching. They just go age of consent, Japan. 13 years old. I'm safe. No, 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 no,
there's a
no,
lot
no,
of
no.
guys that live by that.
Again, the Romeo and Juliet clause, you add 3 years to that.
Is
That
that
means you have to be 16 years old for not to be charged
what's right?
for.
What's right is right, is wrong is wrong, and you
But
should have known to begin
again,
with.
even if you are 16 and you had relations with that girl, if the parents still do not approve, you're still screwed. So there's little caveats, little things you have to watch out for. One, the parents must approve. Two, anybody in this live right now, I'm going to say it right now, odds are you don't belong in the Romeo and Juliet clause. So that means age of consent is technically legal age. Because again,
Yeah, because if you're
nobody in this
18,
room is that young. Nobody in this room is 16 years old.
right. It says here, this guy said when he was a pilot and we flew international, there are additional checks that they're supposed to do. And they're supposed to verify the passengers, it said, with the right documents. And like you said, some of them are actually marked. They said ultimately it is the captain's responsibility. Let's say they were told ultimately it's not the captain's responsibility about that and the documentations, but this was over the decades and many things might have changed. But yes, usually it's on the airlines itself to return the people. But I'm surprised that they don't find a way to make it,
Streamline.
well, if but it's hard saying.
You would think that when somebody buys a ticket, they would like there would be a system that would connect to that country.
Well, here's the thing, they're very clear on that. The rest of the felons, there's a bunch of them here. I think there's a case-to-case basis on immigration. Okay, I'll let you know that. But there is a there's a very defined line when it comes to these type of international travelers coming in. There's no there's no room or blurry lines when it comes to these type of touchers that are coming into the country, because like I said, there are whole groups, whole documentaries and everything else about these type of gentlemen that are coming in and doing this. So it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, no, it's insane.
And so, I mean, people are like, oh, I didn't know. And it's like, that's what your charges were. Just because it's been X amount of time doesn't mean, that's why I'm saying that specific cases are
Oh, speaking
very
of
specific.
weird rules, corn is when you're going into the Philippines, corn is illegal. You can't bring in any type of corn.
So if they catch your laptop and it's full of it,
If they
no
decide
matter
to
what.
inspect it, yes, that's illegal. Just so you guys know. Again, I didn't make the rule, and I'm pretty sure this is a really old rule, an old law, but it's one of those things. I forgot the name for it. They have labels for most laws, kind of like in the U.S. I forgot what it's called.
I thought that was just magazines specifically, but I guess it's
Well, like I said, it's CBGB says, "Oh my gosh, they look like people in my church." Ah. Magnum funnels. Where's the list of the 7 Americans that were kicked out?
on Philippine immigration on Facebook or their website, or in the news. Several articles just covered it just within the last couple of days. So actually, the article and that just came out in the last, I don't know, I want to say 12 hours, maybe more, less than 24. So Facebook is where we got it.
I'm trying to figure out what the thumbnail is. Philippines says they use the onward
Just,
travel
Globe looks like.
they are required to have entering the Philippines.
Oh, that's interesting.
Racer X says return tickets not the day of arrival though, right? That's kind
Correct.
of
It
weird.
can be
Yeah.
changed. Yeah, no, it's several of them said that.
Philippines says they provide
Wow,
a
the
detention
Philippines.
center for the wait.
Check this out for information. The Philippines has moved up to the 10th spot of countries with the highest number of people watching porn.
Well, that makes sense
Why is that?
because okay, the ratio is proportional to the number of people who post and stay online. So it would only make sense that they have the highest number too.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Racetrack says I normally stay 29 days. Just say, well, Racetrack said I wouldn't worry about that. I mean, why? I don't think you have anything to worry about. Just say. Um, Thaddeus says can't take it out either. Boarding search used to confiscate. Oh, your 35 millimeter film cartridges. There you go. Yeah, no. Again, like I said, you can't.
That's right. I do
No, you can't.
remember where if you had taken photos in a reel or something, yeah, you're supposed to bring fresh film. That would be why.
Right.
So I never attempted.
So that's what I mean. I mean, I'm not saying. I mean, you guys do what you want. I'm just telling you the law. The
But
probability of them searching your stuff, your laptop and stuff, is small,
okay.
but you never know.
And on the other hand, in looking that up, thanks for getting the corn situation going here. The Pinoy did get 30 years over his own case. The cruise ship. Did you guys hear about the Filipino that was in the United States? I guess he was placing cameras on the cruise ship. You didn't hear about that? Gave him 30 years for that.
I didn't know that. I heard about him, but I didn't know he actually did that.
He's 34 years old. Wow, he's young. He's just a baby. Well, at least he'll get out when he can get his Social Security.
At 34 years old, I remember 18 years old kids look at me and says,
A federal court in the U.S., which is really rough. Anything federal, we talked about World Zoom and everything, and people don't realize that if it's a federal case, it's definitely an issue. And that would put him under a radar more, besides the millions of dollars that put him on their radar, and they eventually caught up with him. The federal cases are harder, and it says here that he pled guilty. The 34-year-old Arvin Joseph Mirasol in Miami. Hey, he's sitting there with Diddy.
I doubt it.
I'm joking. He's not there. He's in New York. Anyways, I'm just messing with you. Because that's where Diddy's got a place down there. Yeah. So that's what I'm to understand. Installing cameras in a guest bathrooms. Didn't they do that on an airplane too, where they stuck the camera up at the toilet, like inside the toilet? And I'm like, what, you guys want to see doo-doo film or something? Or there's some nasty people. And, I don't even, but yeah, so it just came up too. So what a vision.
Yeah. I just find it funny how you said
Yummy mango. Yummy says on their panties they have a button that says 18 to enter.
Right.
Right. Yeah, it's too late by then if they can see your panties, though, now, isn't it? Right? If they can see that, then it's too late, probably.
Yeah, it's too late.
Yep. In some countries, that could be consent, depending on what parts of Russia you're in.
I forgot the Japanese people have a term for everything. Like shibari would be like, the rope thing. And they had there's a term where they keep their clothes on but no panties. I forgot the term for it. But anyway, I guess it's a good thing I don't know.
I want to let you know that George, you know how they got like a godfather? George is the godfather of the freak-offs.
What?
You ain't going to give me no what the freak like you always do? What the freak? Tell me that you're not. Freak off. What the freak?
I wouldn't say that. No, not by a long shot.
I wonder if they got that on Wikipedia.
I ain't got nothing on R. Kelly or anything like that.
Nobody said R. Kelly. You just always use the word freak. So I'm just saying.
Thaddeus says to control corn photo marketing before the internet. There you go. Yeah, I mean pre-internet. Yeah.
No, here it is. Freak off.
Jasmine says Koreans are hidden cam experts, right, George?
Hey, George, what does it say under freak off? What does it say?
Go bananas.
Go berserk. Go haywire. Freak off. So there.
But that's not what you.
No, that's exactly what I meant. So get your mind out of the gutter.
Thanks, Yumi Mango. No pan, George. We say in Japan. There you go.
Koreans are hidden camera experts, right, George? Yeah, because your photo in the beginning.
That's what Yumi Mango says. Yeah,
that is true.
There you go,
Jasmine.
Yeah.
Hey, Jeep Man is
best
in the
done
house.
with a sailor uniform. Anyway, just kidding, guys.
Did you catch everybody else, Jeep Man? I was looking things up.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we're recapping the week that we were in, and we were discussing. I don't know if it was a previous week, but I know that Big Man in the Philippines came up again in his medical crusade. He then said that his medication did not come from the Philippines. We'll move on to the medical section of our talk because we're about an hour in. And it wasn't that. He was ordering his medicine from India. And so we said, don't do that here. I wouldn't trust if I sit in the U.S. from certain companies. You definitely don't want to have the medicine sent here. And so he did admit to that. He also talked mostly that it was about his thyroid. And can it cause that many issues? Yes, but I believe that it could be other health conditions. We went through the whole discussion, improving your health, trying to take care, and the whole discussion about people having insurance. Some people claim that they have that nest egg. Some people claim that they have the insurance, that they're using this and that. If that was a full criteria of people coming here, what percentage? What percentage do you feel have the funds and proper insurance to back a medical situation here?
7%.
So 90% don't.
Yes.
I'd probably, 80 would probably be 80 to 90%. I agree. Do you think that'll keep them from coming?
Nope.
Okay. Nope. And how many out of the 80 to 90% you think are affected by a medical condition where it actually causes them to
50.
leave? Okay, I have to agree. I'm just not agreeing probably
Yeah, well, it'll be
40,
60,
30,
40.
40.
You know, some of you will
I
be
I
60%, some
don't
will be 40%.
think that
Yeah.
it would be because some people just pass on in their sleep. Some have some good health. So I'd probably say about 50%. So that's why we discuss different things. Somebody had mentioned, us being a budget person. There's a lot of budgeters here. And believe me, I would almost not consider ourselves at a budget level, but we would still be at that level where we need extra insurance and extra money. We've said that from the beginning. We're just what I would call your everyday regular people. So it's a big concern about a lot of people, and it seems to be that which just came into our live stream Thursday, is our Philippine journey was having a stint and then it has to have another one put in, and
Yeah,
did not catch the full. He didn't see the live stream. He knew about the issue. I watched some of the live stream. I did not make it all the way through the live stream. So I understand it was a substantial amount of money, and that insurance um, is a necessity. But yes, if you're on a budget of 2,000, 3,000 a month, some don't want to pay out the few hundred a month now, knowing that they may not be sick for 5 years or 8 years, or like the age, like we're in our early 50s. George is 50. And so we've been going back and forth. And then after I had my slip and fall and jerked my arm out of place, and I recently just had the nosebleed yesterday again. It's really scary. I don't think I have many more chances before I'm actually going to need something. Sure, it's a concern. But what's more of a concern for some of us that are already here is up and moving back to the United States or back to Canada. So most of us that get here, and I've been here for a couple years, it's that tough balance. But, I'm not in denial. I mean, like my arm, I just sat here in a bunch of pain before because I knew if they got me in that ER, it'd be the same thing as big man in the Philippines. I knew it would be a major issue. That would be it. It would
right.
wipe out the savings for sure.
Now, regarding the big regarding Big Man and his medication they purchased from India, guys, again, you don't have to do that. Now, however,
No.
here are some tips and tricks on the pharmacy. Some of you may have heard of these, some of you may not have not. TGP. Okay, TGP is the cheapest. It's a place you can get the most cheapest medications you can get. However, I don't recommend it for expats. Keyword for expats. I don't recommend it. The reason being is one, most of the time they don't have anything that you need because they just really don't carry anything other than basic. If you need your maintenance medication, that's what they're good for. But that's it. Other than that, forget it. You won't find it there. And they are the cheapest price available. Now, I don't recommend TGP for expats unless you're just getting, supplementary drugs or vitamins. Next, we go to South Star drug. I don't recommend that one either. Reason being is I've never found a South Star drug that allows you to get medication without a prescription. I mean, they'll allow you to get, basic maintenance drugs or anything like that, but sometimes, even a basic tramadol, they won't even let you get it. I mean, tramadol here, for the most part, it's practically over the counter, except in South Star, that kind of deal. You know what I'm saying? It's like everything seems to need a prescription in South Star, so I don't recommend that either. Um, Now the two ones in a lot of Filipinos agree with me on this one. Keyword Filipinos agree with me. Again, it's Mercury drug, okay, and Watson's drug. Those two are the most trusted drugstores in the Philippines, and those are the ones I recommend. Mercury drug have been used by my family for decades. I was gonna say eons, but no. Um, and then Watson's. Me and Heidi have used Watson's ever since we've been here, and never had an issue with them. So those are the ones I recommend. But now ordering online, you don't have to do that. Again, if you have to order online, you can order most of the stuff from Watson's too online. We haven't tried Mercury, to be honest with you. We've tried Watson's, and they're pretty good. They're pretty good. Um, Lazada. Lazada is good for, your paracetamol, that kind of stuff. It's kind of like your basic, headache, constipation, that kind of stuff. That's what they're good for. Lazada. It's the Amazon of the Philippines. That kind of stuff. But if you can't order it from Lazada, I would question it. You know what I'm saying? If you have to go on off site to order it somewhere else, I would question it. And or any real medication, as I would say. Meaning, if your life depended on this medication, I wouldn't order it on some. Even if Lazada had it, I wouldn't trust it either. You know what I'm saying? If your life depended on it, I wouldn't chance it.
Yeah, I mean, no, I can't see why. I believe there was other things that big man in the Philippines is not telling. So I think that's why Sunshine really was laying it on him, and also said, "Hey, man, you're not going to get a." I'm glad he put it to him like that. Is that the fact that he did that? He announced 4 or 5 days, we said, before he went into the hospital. He announced that he was already in emergency, so he preset the stage. So if he knew that 4 days, why didn't he go then? And then his daughter mentioned that he needed to go in and have his thyroid checked. Well, to me, it sounds like he keeps saying the only problem was his thyroid. Well, then why didn't he just go to a local store and just start with the same milligrams that he had? If he had any sort of money that he just had to pay out, then why didn't he? Why didn't he at least order them? There's a lot of questions, but I think where it seemed to come off rude was how he was asking. Like there was a whole thing, like there was like 10 vloggers covering this, and then I just seen another guy, and I think that might be what another channel just did this morning, was another gentleman that mentioned Sunshine in the situation. He had come up in our feed. If one person watches some of these expat vloggers, they also come up in our feed, will come up in your feed. You ever wonder why these odd things keep coming up in your feed? It's because out of the group, if you watch, even if you guys are not watching us, but you're watching 3 or 4 other vloggers that we're watching, you're liable to see somebody new come into your feed based on it or based on the genre, because there are hundreds and hundreds. But I just noticed that another channel had a photo and a video of a guy that we just watched, literally. And I'm like, okay, so that's quite interesting. That means somebody that we're not even signed up with or just came into our feed. But he covered him too, and he was kind of on the Sunshine side. And we've always liked Sunshine. We don't like everything that Sunshine does, just like I didn't like everything that Mike's Philippine Journey, MYK.
Well, nobody agrees with everybody.
Yeah, like us, 100%, and
Correct.
those that don't like us still watch, and it's just where it is. And but there's a lot of good things that are covered. And for a lot of people, it just seems rude, but I would rather have those rude facts in my face, and up front. I wish there'd have been more of that before I came here and knew what I was up against and put you in that stack or in that deck of cards situation. Because I think our Philippine journey had said, at least Heidi, at least you know what you're up against, and you accepted that. And I did. I accepted the aspirin a day regimen and my past medical experience, and George's brother is a doctor, and going to the doctors to be what I need. Think about it. What was it, 1804? What did people have back then? I still, at this point, have way more than people 200 years ago or
They had the
100
World
years ago.
Almanac.
Even 100 years ago had, or even 50 years ago. I've still got access to that. So the basic you can handle. It's like I'm supposed to go in for another lupus testing, and it's 4,000 pesos, so it's $80. If I have the same testing, it'd be 2 to 3 times more if I went in for that in the United States, or at least what they'd be billing the insurance, maybe even more. basic like blood work, like a Kim 7 or a workup for thyroid, the TSHA, I believe they call it, and a bunch of these other things. It just, so basically for $100 US, I can get the full blood work. George doesn't need the lupus panel again to check, but we're going to run all these tests again, and we're doing it, for us, it's going to be on a yearly basis. So, but you can afford the base. It's the hard hitting emergency room. And then the other scary part are accidents, car accidents and motorcycle accidents. Look at Jules in the Philippines. That's one he had beforehand. So it can be really, really, really actually scary. So, but, you know, oh, I wanted to discuss, now I remember what I wanted to discuss. Some people, including him, said that Guam was his backup plan. After that was said, there were lots of people stating that Guam is not really an option. I just wanted to let you know that. There was a bunch that came through. Another person on a Facebook group said that that was his backup plan, and a bunch of guys came through, and I believe it. They said that the Guam hospitals are advising people to go to the Philippines for some medical.
Huh?
They're just saying that the Guam hospitals are not adequate. Think about it. We have the hospital where I got the injections, St. Luke's, right? Oh, I got it right this time. I believe there are 2 locations there. They had one in BGC. And as we've stated, and where I go, not for everything, but I do go to, I call it Medical Center Clark, and that's where our Philippine journey went. We've known for quite some time they had a state-of-the-art medical. They it's on their webpage, and so when I covered medical, I think it's been 2 years since I've done a medical video. I discussed how well equipped they are. As a matter of fact, I think they've got a bunch of awards or something for them. They are one of the. That's where I would probably even go over St. Luke's at this point. But they're saying a trip to Guam, that the hospitals are actually referring people to come over to St. Luke's or whatever, versus, and it's not one person. If I was just getting like one, guy that was just being rowdy and telling people, we would know they're just like bucking the system. But several people said same thing, that they do not have good facilities in Guam. It's not as big as people think, and it's not really an option. So I would check into it yourselves.
No, Guam is tiny. Yeah.
So that I would definitely consider what's going on before, um, you know,
Right.
I'm just, and like I said, I'm old school. Are you guys old school enough and have a pain level to handle certain things and not have to go to the hospital? There are some men and women that need a hospital or a doctor over every single thing. We're not talking about things like an actual, like our Philippine journey went through, where he had heart issues or something super serious. You should have maintenance and do this and do that. I'm talking just, there are some things you just, it's more, it's not, I'm trying to think of the word. I can't think of it. Things you can deal with. You got an ache and pain in your leg, and then you can have a surgery to fix it, but it's not death. Are you just going to deal with the pain? I'm just going to deal with the pain. The next person will not.
Well, yeah, it all depends on your tolerance level.
Right. So that's what I'm saying, is some things are, if I was in the United States, if my toe was hurting and then I found out that I had a certain situation and then this would fix it, then I would spend myself going to 4 doctors, but I have insurance there. Here, I'm just going to deal with the pain. So those are things you have to accept, whether you do or you don't, to deal with it. But I would suggest, what would help is having a backup on the insurance. Now the expats can get Phil Health that covers part of it. You can get an insurance. There are several insurance companies, but you're going to have to pay up front and then get reimbursement. Do you have the credit cards to cover it? We have credit cards, but then remember, there's going to be percentage of interest on those credit cards, all kinds of stuff. So you just have to decide if that is your actual option. So
Right. Now, somewhat related but unrelated at the same time. There was a recent event that happened again. if by chance you have, like, for example, diabetes or something like that, and a part of your limb gets, or you don't have to have diabetes, part of your body starts getting gangrene, don't fight the amputation, guys. If they say your leg has to go,
Yeah, let it go.
let it go. The reason being is, if by chance you said, okay, you know what, how about just take take off what's you think is infected. The thing is, if they didn't catch a sliver of the necrosis, sepsis will set in and you'll be in for a long, horrible, long death. So you don't want to do that. It's real painful. So just letting you guys know.
Jasmine says, but wouldn't Guam be free with Medicare? Yes, if you can get to Guam. If you need Guam bad enough, okay. If you need it that bad, then that means you're super, super sick. You may not be able to take that trip. I probably say probably 9 out of 10 people that get that sick are bad off anyways.
They won't let you fly if you look.
They're good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you
So
look
that
like
would
you're
be
at
the
death's
problem.
door, you're
That's
not
why
flying.
it's not always an option. I know when I first got here on the information that I had, that was one of my plans. But in the case, like I needed shoulder surgery and a bunch of stuff happened when my arm got all dislocated, I'd never made it there for all the medical anyways. There's no way I'd have been able to sit on that plane for that actual trip back. Now, I do want to let you know that they said that your next option, of course, would be Hawaii. So,
Oh yeah, Hawaii's closer.
yeah. So that they said Guam, though, I just want to let you guys know, would not be a good ideal.
Yeah. Now, I'm about to read this statement, but keep in mind that 70 of you will disagree and 30 of you will agree. Magnum Funnel says, intermittent fasting will cause you to no longer need the meds. Now, remember, this is a case-per-case basis. I'm not disagreeing with Magnum Funnels. He's going on the holistic side of things. Now, holistic side meaning
It will help.
no pharmacy.
extensively.
It will help, yes. Now, keep in mind also, the ones that disagree, okay, I'm explaining where the discrepancy is. There's two types of sciences that went parallel back in the past. The pharma side, which everybody knows, big pharma, right? And then the holistic side, which, your herbs and all that, fasting, diet. These were parallel development. And then American AMA, American Medical Association, stepped in and says, let's stomp out the holistic guys. We can make money off big pharma. And that's the birth of big pharma, the
Yes,
AMA. Correct. So that being
taking
said,
care of your health now.
yeah,
Yes.
the ones
Smoking, drinking, all fried foods, and all of that is definitely, and the fasting is really good. During the 4 or 5 months that I did it when I was losing weight, that's what I was doing. And I got a lot of criticism. Oh, you're doing this and you're doing that. And usually it's coming from the same people that are drinking all the time, that are smoking and drinking all the time, but they see eating as being an actual problem. I will let you know that fasting does help 100%. It's just hard to maintain. And
Yeah.
I can't, I mean, you definitely have to be very strong on that
right. One, it's
situation.
hard, and two, again, remember, it's a case per case basis. Not everything
But there is
can be cured with
Mhm.
with
no,
diet.
not
everything.
everything. So it can help it is a very good start.
Um,
And it'll improve. Like if I would cut down on my sugar more and lose weight, will it help as far as my aches and pains and my inflammation? Yes, but it's not gonna my lupus is not gonna go away. Me needing knee replacement, it's not gonna go away. It's gonna improve some things, but fasting is yes, a good thing.
right. Now, the next statement, I'll actually use Heidi's cooking recently, and I'll tell you what the issue is. Zablau says,
Yes.
is the food really that challenging in the Philippines? Seems like a good place to eat healthy. Now, the problem you'll face is the little things. For example, Heidi made some adobo the other day. No, don't get me wrong, it's really good. However, even I tasted it, I was like, it's sweet, but that's the recipe.
Yeah, but I didn't put that much.
Correct.
I'll put
That's
like
what I was
2
getting at.
tablespoons, but if you go
That's what I
to
was getting at.
I put some brown sugar
That's
in
an
it.
expat making the dish already adjusted to Western standard and to me, it's still sweet.
Yeah, so I do a lot more cooking at home than people actually think. So
Right. So that's what I'm saying is again,
they say cook at
if
home.
if Heidi made it not as sweet, imagine the Filipinos out there. They make it sweeter,
But here's my
more sugar,
heavy
bad for you.
belief, and I believe I just heard Sunshine say it. Whatever's been written in the stars for you guys have already been done. For those that were heavy users in the past of any
The
situation,
damage has been
or
done.
yeah, it's but you can improve like your outcomes, like I said, inflammation will happen because of sugar, and your arteries can still be clogged up, and different things can happen. You can make those improvements. So
Right. Well, what we're saying is, does it make a difference?
yes.
Yeah, yes, it does. It buys you a couple
Salt.
years versus when you started younger, it buys you decades. Big difference between the two. If you started when you're 18 with a healthy diet, it'll buy you
But we're
decades.
talking about most of the guys that are here. We're not
Right.
saying not to. When these guys are
No, it'll buy
in
you a
their
few years.
70s,
Yes,
and
it does make a
well, you just can't
difference.
eat all salty and nothing but all sugar all the
Correct.
time either.
Correct.
So
But see, that's the
blood
problem. Like I
pressure
said,
will lead
the food
to.
here. Yes, it's usually
But there
um
is healthy. It's not like though in some other countries as far as like healthy, but then that would mean you need to cook for yourself, and more healthy places are popping up. So for those that don't want to cook and don't want to go out or can't get out, then yes, you can have salads and all that delivered, and there are healthy foods that can
right.
be found here.
Yeah.
So
Well, for example, milk tea. We used to get milk tea in the U.S. a lot. Okay. Here,
what?
milk tea, bubble tea,
Oh, I saw you said
bubble tea.
milk tea.
Okay, bubble tea.
We did when
Okay.
we first got here, and we did on the
Right,
occasion.
but the sugar level is
Yeah,
astronomical.
we can't not
It's
anymore. We used to
astronomical.
get it almost every other
It's not
day when
even
we first got
comparable.
here.
And I started
More
asking
sugar than I'm eating
zero
now in
sugar.
3
I
days.
actually started saying zero sugar, and still it was super
The
sweet.
food is on most of the meals it's heavy in oil and sugar
Yeah,
and
heavy in
carbs.
oil and what did actually the Landers, the pad thai. The
Mhm.
pad thai is really heavy in oil. Heavy in oil. I'm not joking. You can literally fry with the oil that was left over after I ate all the noodles. I'm not joking. I even showed Heidi. I said, "Oh, it's oil."
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the problem with the. I'm not saying it's not good. It tastes really good, but
Yeah.
Magnum Funnel says many expats gave up on life, end up in the Philippines. They checked out, so insurance is not on. It's not on the need to do list. There you go.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Or
Any
it's something that they really don't consider because they think it'll never happen to them. There are people that never have any medical conditions in their entire life. And as a woman, I had X amount before I even came here, and I knew it. It's the crazy accidents that a lot don't figure either. Motorcycle accidents, you can be run over by a jeepney. Like what happened to me, slip and falls, things can fall. Like people get hit in the head with coconuts. You know how many people pass away a year from being hit
Oh
by
yeah, yeah.
coconuts?
Never
Ain't even a
sit
joke.
under a coconut tree. Trust me.
Yeah, but that guy was just driving down the road, motorcycle, boom, down.
Yep.
So it's
Well, that's
we're
what he
not
did.
even joking.
Was
The
he wearing a
flooding,
helmet?
I can't say if he was. I didn't read in the article whether he was, but I'm pretty sure it cracked his helmet.
I don't think it would have. Well, okay. No, no, no. It could have. The reason being, a lot of Filipinos wear bicycle helmets, and I'm not talking about the bicycle helmets in the U.S.
Well,
Bicycle helmets in the U.S. has a hard shell and then a thick layer of foam, hard styrofoam. Here, bicycle helmets is just basically a hard hat without being a hard hat. So if he was wearing one of those, it would not have protected him. Um, John Wright, hey John Wright, how are you doing? Hello, Heidi and George and all. Samsack. Now,
oh yeah.
I do. Yeah.
Well, we're expecting the Billy buy-in boxes this week. We have boxes coming in. So yeah.
Samsack. Now,
Excited.
I don't know the legalities of this. I'm not gonna pretend I do. Emergency room should be held liable for not treating a patient. Now, remember, emergency rooms, whether in the U.S. or in the Philippines, they're only required to stabilize the one who are basically in death's at death's door. And then after that, they go under. Well, first off, you go under triage, which means they rank you by how big of an emergency is. You know, obviously the ones at
I
death's
still
door,
haven't. I really
they
need to
stabilize
sit
them.
down and try to get more information. I don't like recording in hospitals. I told George I get freaky
No,
when
we,
it
we
gets
have hospital
too many personal people that
footages,
are
but
sick.
I don't release those either.
But the I don't know. I've heard so many different stories that, like I said, what I'm to understand is if they put you into the private rooms, them are the harder ones to get out of the billings, even if it's a little bit, they want all of it up front, which most of them are going to want the money up front anyway, some sort of deposit. But I guess as far as releasing and being able to get out, it's a real thing. You could be in Mindanao and something happened. They may not let you out no matter what, like literally keep you there in a chair with an IV and just zoom, you're done. So you just don't want to play with it. And
And you need
I think you only get one get out of jail free card, and I wasn't prepared to use it for any of the instances in the last year. And
well,
the nosebleed yesterday was not severe. I took the clotting medicine right away, and the same with the arm. I figured they'd have kept me in and then even claimed I needed surgery. Even if it does, and it's
They would've-
possible it does, or
they would
there
have
could be
taken
something torn
X-ray and they
still.
would have done anything.
I mean, it still hurts like hell. Yeah. Well,
They-
I'm not. That would have been cheap. They showed the cost in the hospitals, all the hospitals, as far as I figured that we could have covered that. It would have been holding me and then possibly claiming like the U.S.
Well,
I've seen so many misdiagnosis and
what I'm
unnecessary
saying is
surgeries.
they would have held you there, get an X-ray, get the results back, and then refer you to a chiropractor.
Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know where you're. I'd be more concerned about the opposite, about getting in there and them holding me and saying I need a surgery and doing something like that, not releasing or
Well, I'm just
yeah.
Brian Nichols
I'd have been worried
says
about the opposite.
big man was evasive.
Gotcha. Yeah, on a few things. I mean, I agree, and I think Sunshine was just trying to tell him, "Hey, man, you got money for your burial, and this and that, and who knows? It's unconfirmed how many wives and what kind of income, and that he could afford everything up to one point and what happened." But he reached out to the community, and when the community came back to talk to him about that situation, that's when things got crazy, and then so many different people, covered the topic.
Yeah.
So no, I agree there was some missing stuff, but more did come out. And to me, him getting the fake medicines from India and all that, then I was like, okay, so then
That would explain a lot.
maybe he wasn't taking the proper heart medicine, thyroid. Did he not mention that he had a bad heart? I don't know at what point even his age was actually mentioned, but I'm pretty sure they said he was 74. Does anybody remember how old he was? But once you get into a certain bracket, you're not promised tomorrow. And that's kind of what I'm rolling with. That's what George is rolling with now. Not promised tomorrow, right? Right, Peanut? Yeah.
Yeah. I could be like X-Nate after this live.
And I rolled down the stairs today. Really? I wish. I just pay him a couple.
AJR morning from
Good morning.
Thailand.
Hi, Focus on
JR
Asia.
in Thailand.
Focus on Asia in the house.
Now, Racer X says, I don't agree with Sunshine Shoulders with the 4 Fs. The bar girls make good wives.
Yeah, because we were talking about agreeing and disagreeing. Yeah. I do find multiple channels where he'll give information and then the next videos they'll talk about something else that's the opposite. But I believe like Sunshine, he just gets into those topics and it's driven by the subject, not what he's living. And the same with other channels. It's sometimes like even we cover topics like today. It doesn't mean that, all this applies to us. We're just into the topic. So we do notice, but I think that's the same as any news, any like the show The View and Jerry Springer's and all these other shows. They'll do one topic and then a month later they'll do another. It doesn't necessarily.
Yeah.
But there's a lot you just don't on the person. But I agree.
Now remember to, in all fairness, you can't bunch all the bar girls in one basket too.
Yeah, because there are plenty of them
Yeah,
that did turn
and
out
like I
really
said,
good. Yeah, I mean,
personally, I know a lot of or used to know a lot of bar girls, and 1 out of 10, or rather, literally 1 out of 10. Literally, I counted. One of them, she did the bar girl scene enough to finish college and became a nurse, and ever since then, never looked back.
Yeah.
And now she has a Lexus and all that kind of stuff, and it's from being a nurse. You know what I'm saying? So,
No, I agree.
you know, don't be quick to judge either. Thaddeus says, record straight. Sunshine started his YouTube in Angel City, friends of Tipawan and Farang channel, specializing in interviews of freelancers in Santos Street. There you go.
Wait a minute.
That's a channel, yeah. Or channels. I think Farang channel, and then Tipawan is another.
Well, I'm trying to figure where the comma is. Record straight. Sunshine started his YouTube channel in Angel City. Sunshine did?
That's what Thaddeus says. I honestly don't
Oh.
know.
Well, yeah, I can't say where he was from the very beginning. Yeah.
CBGB says, Heidi, that is true. Guam Memorial has long had an awful reputation.
Yeah, they're
People either
saying
go
you
to
wouldn't wanna
Hawaii
go.
or Manila.
Yeah, and you gotta understand, if you need that kind of medical, calculate like what's his name when he went back to Vegas. You're still gonna need hotels or people to stay with or something, and they're not always gonna take you in right away for whatever you need. And I mean, see what I mean? If you're in that dire of a medical need, popping into the emergency room will not be an option. And they're just going to take you in and say, hey, you need heart surgery in 4 weeks. It doesn't work like that. You have to have like the heart attack and need it right then for them to keep you in. In the United States, they will only keep you in with Medicare and the supplements for X amount of time. So what I'm saying is I'm trying to figure how most people figure that they can go from point A to point B without some additional money. So let's just say this trip costs you 3,000-4,000 US. Let's say that's a fair amount. Let's say you're taking your $5,000, getting you a round trip ticket because you got to get back and all that. You take that money. A lot of the care that you're going to need is going to still be here and still be affordable. Now, if you're needing a heart surgery and they know in advance, they can see everything's clogged and you're going to need valves replaced, just not stents, and you can't afford them stents, but you're still healthy enough to fly, then you would have to check into that. But they're saying that, right now that Guam should not be the option for people. So a lot of this is going to be, and believe me, it's scary till it actually hits you. And I've been hit twice where I'm like panicking. And so, but I'm just,
Yeah.
it's little old me.
Sam Martin says, hello, hi, and George. 2 thumbs up, my friends. All right.
Good morning.
Yeah, guys, again, give us a thumbs up, share, like this video. It makes Heidi really happy. Again.
Didn't I give you some? Here, let me look up that advice. I gave you some more slick advice the other day. Like satin is the poor people's silk.
And to
Don't
show
wear it
your
on
sign of
Sunday.
support, make your partner some powdered donuts, but instead of using powdered sugar, use baby powder instead.
I gave you some more good advice.
Who
Who wrote that? Dry as a nun's nasty. I
You
must have
did
been
that.
watching.
You did that.
Do not drink gin
I
that
was
is dry
wondering-
as
I
a
was
nun's
wondering
nasty.
what that
That's
was.
my advice for the day. Do not drink gin that is dry as a nun's nasty.
Right. Jasmine says, we already read this, but there's a reason why I'm rereading it. But would it Guam be free with Medicare? CBGB says,
Yes.
Jasmine,
would
yes,
be
you're
free.
correct. They accept
To an
Medicare
extent.
and burial insurance.
Let me make this clear. And I will just make it clear for it is what it is. When you have Medicare, you still owe a percentage of the bill. Okay, so just remember that. Now, for those of you who maintain residency, legal residency in the United States, and you can get a supplement with your state that will cover the other percentage, there will still be a copay cost to hospitals, surgeries, medications. So it's not technically, for your answer, it's not free. Okay, so I know people that are living here that still have houses back in the United States. You have the supplementary that is through Medicare and Social Security. With that, you still have copays.
I was going to say.
When I was back in the United States, it was 25 for this, 50 for that, 100, 200. So when I had my hysterectomy and I had both of them and was living in the United States, it still cost, I think it was like $100. So I mean, yes, it's a way better deal. Don't get me wrong, but I guess it's not free. So, I
Right.
mean, I guess that's George. You guys got to thank George because George has taught me a lot of things as far as thinking about the whole situation. Before I said, yeah, it's free. But if you want the real technicalities, it's not free. I used to probably pay $100 in copays just worth of medicines when I was back in the United States. Do I take as many now? No. I take certain amounts of medication, but believe it or not, I'm eating healthier now than I did in the United States. We used to eat out how many
Yeah.
times
Now
a day?
keep in mind, this
It's
is
true.
the U.S. we're talking about.
Right. We used to eat out once a day at least.
Oh yeah.
So maybe even twice. So we did a lot of videos in the beginning where we were showing, us going out. We did a lot of traveling to Orlando. So them last few months before we even left, we did a bunch of traveling. So we went to Orlando, but no, it's not free.
Yeah.
But
Now in Australia, I know it's free to an extent. I believe there's an allotment of the funds that you have. For example, for dental, there's a certain amount you get it for free.
for what?
In Australia, they have you have a
Oh,
allotted. In fact, Australia, they have a you purchase, you prepay for your ambulance per year, and then after
wow.
that, yeah, then after that you that's it. It
You
it's
got a new
it's enough.
girlfriend in Australia you've been talking to?
Yes,
Talking to the Aussie down
yes,
under?
yes,
Okay.
Ruby.
Yeah. I
And
couldn't
then
even watch the Creek one. I couldn't even get past that.
Wolf
It
Creek.
looked
Okay,
old. That was just
Wolf Creek 1 and 2, 3 is coming out, or 3 is out.
movie of the
Um,
day.
it's
I don't know. The first one I
it's
just did,
based on a
that's
true
really,
story in a certain location,
I would
Wolf
just
Creek.
watch Wolf Creek too, but they're
Yeah, watch Wolf Creek True, not one. If you're into horror based on true stories.
wake up to your face every morning, don't I?
Yeah, that's true.
Yes. Or cats go.
Um,
What is with your cat here?
John Ryder, Chonghua in Cebu, I think is the best hospital in the Philippines.
Ah. Um
Mm,
AU isn't that where
it's the best in this area, next to
well, I believe that's where our
Clark.
Philippine journey said.
Next to Clark.
Well, that's the one
Clark would be
he's
one,
talking about going. He says he's thinking
and
about
then
having the
AU.
stints.
Right.
Well, he's thinking about having the stints down there,
Okay.
the second set.
Right.
So no, that's the one. But no, but I have heard a lot about that one, yes.
Now,
So what I'm saying is it's not technically free, and most people that are returning to the United States don't even have their homes or families to stay with. So even if they travel back to the US, you're still going to need expenses of around 5,000 to stay there too. If it's a short period of time and you're not waiting longer. So in that case, a lot of people are just going to have stuff here. So in that case, you're going to need a good amount of savings to cover something very serious. That's, you know,
right now, actually,
and I
just
think our Philippine journey said he was up to 1 million,
right
which is about, I think, 20,000 pesos. I don't know if that was a full bill, but crazy.
now to clarify what John Ryder is saying, Changhua in Cebu. The reason why I'm saying to clarify, remember, it doesn't matter if St. Luke is the best in the world. I'm just making an example. This is not true, of course. Let's say St. Luke's is the best hospital in the world, okay? And let's say, again, this is just an example. Let's say you need stents put in your heart, and you get an ambulance, they drive you over to St. Luke. And then guess what? They don't have one single doctor that can do a stint. Again, this is just an example. My point is the best hospital in that area is Chonghua. Yes. The best hospital in NCR region is St. Luke. The best hospital here is
And there are a lot of
Clark.
insurances
However,
that will pay up front. You
right.
guys got to make sure all of
Yeah.
that's
But
happening.
however, again, if the specialist isn't, if they don't have a specialist of what you need, it doesn't matter if they're the best hospital in the area. They still don't have the best doctor for you. You know what I'm saying? So remember that too. Well, you know what I mean? Not again, there's no one answer for everybody because not everybody has the same issue. You know what I'm saying? Except that, of course, the best hospitals, you have a higher chance that they do have that specialist you're looking for. That's all it is to it. So he's probably having it done in AU because AU is a training facility too, which also means they have a higher probability of having the specialists there, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. 1 second. Yeah, I was just showing him some thumbnails.
Thaddeus
Oh,
said,
they accept
I already
Medicare
said,
and sorry, I missed that, and burial insurance.
yeah.
Well, what's with the burial insurance? You talking about Guam?
y-
Because usually a burial insurance is based at the, like my dad has a plan in Florida. It's only for like 2 of the homes that exist. There's only 2 offices that he can use that on. So unless that's a type of different burial insurance.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Thaddeus says, any overseas boarding you need to walk from the door till seat with little assistance. Correct.
Yes. And if you're needing what's considered emergency room help, then there's just no way you're going to make it there. And the rest of it's just going to require a family member to stay with, or so that's why if you are the budget expat, we call that oh shit money. You really need that for a round trip ticket, and you need the money to cover expenses if you have to leave, or you need that for something major. And in that case, I would definitely be considering at least 20,000 or more set aside. And even then, I'm sure people are laughing about that have, well planned, because I can hear our Philippine journey now. Mike just like, yeah, that's not enough, because he just went through it. And we know that it's a not, but there are guys coming with nothing. So at least we have credit and X amount of money put away for that. I'm just not prepared to put that into my last emergency situation. You really need to have something socked away. That is for sure. But a lot of guys are going to come without it anyways. I mean, I can talk, our Philippine journey could talk, Mike, MYK, others that have given out great information in regards to this. And they're, everybody's outcome will be different. You may not need it at all. May not. That
Yeah.
is for sure.
Speaking of socks, Pablo Chicano says, Heidi, do you have a boot? I'm putting air quotes
I
here.
had one a long time ago. I left it.
I broke 2 toes a few years ago, wore a boot for 6 weeks, and then the toes healed. I don't think he's meaning, I don't think he actually meant a boot.
No,
That's why I
it's
put the quotes.
I had the plantar fasciitis, and my ankle was totally cracked and twisted, and I had to wear one. That's when I said I had and didn't wear when I first met you. And that's the one where I got my foot stuck in the parking lot, the concrete thing. I went to go grab onto a cart at Walmart and to go move it, and I kind of jumped over at the same time, and my foot got stuck. Just believe me, it got stuck in there and got messed up. And so that's the label they put on it. Besides the ankle being cracked, the only healing it could do was the big black one with the tape that goes around. And I had to go through the occupational therapy and everything. So no, I did not bring that because one, you only get 2 major suitcases to come at a certain weight to the Philippines. And no, we did not mail it when we mailed the Bilig boxes to ourselves. I'm still getting excited about the Bilig boxes coming from who, from where. I don't know if I can say who.
Yeah, that's why I wasn't saying anything.
Well, we can still say we're excited. One of our viewers and friends is the box should be practically any day. So I know it's at the port. It got stuck in Korea, but it's coming.
Robin Mary says, Mary, twice I've been on a plane from, twice.
Been on a plane from Los
LA
Angeles.
to Manila and had a passenger pass away during the flight. Shouldn't fly if really sick.
Yep. I hear you. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, and Jasmine says, yes, of course, but maybe that's why it's their option. If you're super sick, not a great plan. Correct.
Yeah. And for some people, as we said, and just keeping it real, it may not be an option for people in the United States or Canada. It's so extremely expensive. That is like 90% of the reason that, well, I won't say 90%. Like I said, there's other reasons we're here. But cost. Some guys are here for the cost, the women, the partying, and everything else. But for a lot of people, it's the cost on their retirement, an opportunity to retire. And so a lot of them, medical is the last thing that they're actually thinking about. And it's kind of, you know,
Right.
it's kind of scary. But we've said this before, and it's not an excuse that there are some guys that never go to the hospital.
No.
My grandfather never went to the hospital.
No, there's
Not, I'm
there's
talking about
people
another
who
grandfather
never see a hospital till the day they
that lived
die.
out in the country. Yeah.
You know,
Until, yeah.
some are the
Or
just
not at
lucky
all.
ones, and yeah,
That's, yeah.
some just show up more than others.
And you may be in, I
know?
guess there's no reason for the big fear mongering, but you don't want to do something as, I use the word asinine, as order your medicine from India and throw the double dice. Don't throw the double dice and go out there drinking and hanging on a motorcycle with no lights on, running down MacArthur Highway at 3 a.m. with a bunch of semis going by. I mean, rip, babe. Rip. Baby
No,
gonna go down the
they're-
highway. Rip. Rest
and
in peace, little buddy. That's all we can say. Give you a college try.
again, some of these motorcycles, tricycles, keyword tricycles, which you'll probably board at night. If
You can guarantee.
some of the lights are dim enough that I swear I don't see them. I don't see them.
Yeah, but some of these
I'm
guys are.
like, I could see a shadow, and I'm like, I'm
mean,
pretty sure
don't-
that's a tricycle, but I don't even see the headlight up until it's up close. It's like that tricycle doesn't have a light, and then sure enough, when it comes really close, by then it's too late.
Well-
Like it does have a headlight. It is on. It's
Well-
just really dim.
Give you guys some peace of mind. Some of these guys coming here to have a freak off. And some of these guys are coming here to have a drink off, which they do. That's on you. Some of them come here for other party favors. Some
1,000
people
balls of Astro
come
Glide.
here and challenge Filipinos that have been out in a rice field all day, cutting down things. And I mean, don't put yourself in a situation where you're going to need a hospital sooner. And some of them do. They're going to have a heart attack in the middle of their freak off. They're going to have, get on these motorcycles and they do these drinking. These guys go on these hikes and adventures in this heat with bad hearts and other medical conditions and just going to have a stroke and fall over. Don't put yourself in that situation. Don't come over here eating nothing but fried food and eating pag and all these street food vendor items that are going to make yourself so sick, or you're going to end up with something that you're going to, cause any issues. Either way, babe, some of these guys put their own selves in these medical conditions. So am I any different than the situation? I avoid as much of these things as possible. I don't even really like the extra travel unless I have to. I'm sorry. I'm just at that age that I'm not going to do anything additional to get myself in any more trouble. No more trouble. They sure don't. And they do. Some of them guys are in pure denial about out there drinking, driving, freak offs, love life, overtime, taking on a 19-year-old girlfriend 5-6 times a day. Dude, slow down. You're going to have a stroke and no insurance. A lot of guys can't even afford the Jollibees for them. That's all I'm saying. The girlfriends.
Well, in all fairness, they probably would have that stroke with or without the girlfriend. So at least they had fun, I guess.
Did you see your face in the mirror yesterday?
Anyway, Racer X,
Maybe.
Chonghua
Well,
near
they would have.
Fuentes Circle.
But it is true. A lot of them are on the blue pill, taking the blue pill. They listen to other people. They buy those pills.
If they buy the blue
If they're not wrapped up in the wrong pills that could actually off them off anyways with the wrong ingredients, then they're taking extra pills, which could cause that. And I'm sorry, even if they don't take the pill,
no, it will,
a man
it
in
will
his
put him in
60s,
overdrive. Yes,
he could, based on
if they
that,
take the blue
have
pill,
one.
yeah, that
I'm not
puts
saying because
puts
he's
it on
prone
over.
for a stroke that he's just not going to have a stroke. I'm saying that's not going to help. If I know that my family has a
Well, yeah,
history and all these other things, I'm not going to go off having
of course, that's
woo-wah 9 times a day.
they can if they're not taking the blue pill.
Yeah, but they could still have it. What are you talking about? Even without it.
I know that, but what I'm saying is, obviously, with the blue pill, it puts it on overdrive, your probability.
Okay,
And
probability.
yeah,
And then remove that and just that. Some of these guys won't pay for the air conditioning, so they just sitting in the heat on top of that and then think they can still live like they're 20 years old.
well, that's the
Don't put
problem.
yourself in a
That's the
predicament of
problem.
acting like a
A lot
20-year-old.
of people forget their age. I mean, and also, I
We
get it.
all do.
I get it. That's why I
My
said I
baby.
get it. I mean, it's really easy to forget. Jasmine
Speaking
says
nose. Hi.
St. Luke's is quite expensive even for foreigners. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it is in BGC. Just saying.
Well, there's 2 of them. There's one in, I think, the Makati area. There was the one in BGC.
Yeah. Thaddeus
There's
says
2
it was a
locations.
miracle that Campbell found Mormon girls to assist him. Yes. Yes, that was a providence. Correct.
Yeah.
I don't
that's
know how
scary.
he boarded himself. Rose had to lift and dress him.
Yeah.
Right. No. Yeah, no, that was providence. Yes. Um, Jasmine says our food has lots of salt and sugar added with poor oil. Oh, correct.
Yeah, a lot of them
Correct.
aren't using a healthy oil to begin
Not
with.
so healthy. Right.
Yes. I think
Actually,
if they were using palm or
and you're
vegetable
lucky if
corn
it's not reused oil. Just say.
several times. Yeah.
But
These
yummy.
days,
Correct.
yeah.
As I always say, the less healthy it is, the tastier it is. A what if scenario? Hibiscus tea. Oh, if you and George were in a car accident together, both unconscious upon arrival at the hospital, would you be treated? Technically, there's no known way of paying us.
Well,
They probably will because of her.
yeah, I mean, if it happened, then we would just use a credit card or our savings.
No,
I
no, no.
mean,
She's saying we're both unconscious. They
yeah, I mean,
no, they probably will because of her.
oh,
They-
you don't think they would take you if you were unconscious
Well, it
to
depends
stabilize
if
you?
I'm wearing scrubby clothes or not. Yeah.
Really? You think it's down to that?
Yes.
Huh.
It's like this.
Why don't you? You're
Let's say you didn't exist, and I'm wearing my crummy clothes. As I told this store clerk the other day, I'm wearing my
you're cutting your face off.
yeah. Well, so anyway,
Anyways,
if I look like I didn't have any money, it's usually a good Samaritan will step in. Honestly, it's probably a tricycle driver. I'm going to say that right now. It's probably going to be a tricycle driver that'll scoop me up and take me to a hospital and drop me off. Usually that's how it works. And usually tricycle drivers are the ones that step up. So just so you guys know. Enigma. Hey, Enigma, how you doing? Enigma.
good morning.
Bill Grady says, I always wear a football helmet when I relax under a coconut tree. Yes, that's like a hard hat, correct.
Right.
Hector Gubat, only 4 hospitals hold
The
JCL
JCI
accreditation in the Philippines: Asian Hospital, Makati Medical, St. Luke, and Medical City.
Yeah, I believe our Philippine journey mentioned that, but I don't believe he mentioned Medical City.
Yeah. Thanks. Thanks, Hector. Good information. Thaddeus says, I race as a semi-pro MXer, never ride without a skid lid. The best thing to your Pinoy loved one. Make them. Yes, correct. Yeah, I never did understand why you wouldn't. A lot of them don't, though. Jasmine says, I think foreigners should have health insurance. Just an intelligent thing to do. Enigma says, no free
Then there would
dental
probably
in
be no
Australia,
foreigners
except
here.
if you're admitted in a hospital.
That is the truth. I'd probably say 2 out of 10, 1 or 2 out of 10 carry the proper insurance. And we're just not talking about like some quick travel insurance. I had that when I came in the country. But as far as keeping it and living here long term, they don't do that in the United States, nor is healthcare as open as it is. I think there's a lot of people without medical insurance.
Second one says, heck, I'm late. Good morning, all. Hey, Hillbilly, how
Good
you doing? Hey, second
morning.
one, Hillbilly Paro. Good morning, all. John Ryder says 20K is so cheap for stint. Jasmine says foreigners should be careful as well at St. Luke Makati Medical because they may run out of unnecessary tests for may run a lot of unnecessary tests for simple problems.
That makes sense, Jasmine. 100%. Yes, going to those hospitals are extremely expensive. Yes.
Well, in any hospital, there's a chance they'll run tests so that you don't need. But then again, they do that in the West too.
Yeah, that's what the big man in the Philippines was talking about. He goes, "Well, here in the Philippines, they're going to run a bunch of unnecessary tests, and this is how I kept them under control." And I said, they would have done the same
Yeah,
anywhere
they
in the
would have done
world.
in the West too.
They're going to run every panel on you possibly. Now, maybe here, now in the United States, I couldn't imagine him saying, listen, I only want this x-ray. And all of a sudden, like his medical expertise kicked in and I only want this done. And I want this blood panel ran and you're only doing this and that's it. Now, maybe you might get that out of me right now. If I go to a hospital, I'd be like, listen, you're only going to do an x-ray here. I'm not getting any surgeries. I need this, this, and that done, and try to discuss that with your doctor. Usually in the United States, when you have an insurance, which is not with everybody does not have perfect insurance in the United States. They're just going to do up a bunch of stuff. And even then, it's hard to get past them wanting to send you to 3 specialists. I don't know, but they were still going to have to do certain things. I just don't understand if that's what he claims his daughter told him in the beginning. Why didn't he simply go somewhere unless he is so far out in that region, like so far out where he's living that he cannot get access to where he's, what he's doing, that he didn't get blood work to see where his levels were on everything, and that he didn't take some sort of necessary steps from the beginning. But everybody is different.
PB Barnes says it's good to have insurance. I know that Pacific Cross covers pre-existing after 12 months. The peso plans are cheaper than dollar plans, and copay won't strangle you.
Yeah.
Second one says, can I sell my body for money on Walling Street for starting an emergency fund? There you go. True story.
Possibility. That's what I'll be doing with George.
Just start thirst trapping
Boots
there,
were
second man.
made
Just
for
saying.
walking. And that's just
Oh,
what
Brian
I'll
Nichols, right?
do. Maybe these boots will.
Thaddeus says, take note when you put on boots on the ground, the ground your boots are on isn't yours. Be responsible.
That is true. That is so true.
Hillbilly says, most I know are not ready for a major emergency in the U.S. or the Philippines. Fair
agree.
point. Fair point.
That's what I've been saying. When we covered medical over the last, which by the way, our 4-year anniversary is coming up, I think Tuesday for the YouTube channel. And we've said that a lot of people used to laugh at me during the pandemic when I said these guys weren't ready back in the United States. They're not ready now. And if they're worried about that corn dog and that tailpipe anytime soon, they're definitely not going to. And some guys will never go to the doctors no matter how sick it comes down to. And I think once they cross that threshold and they get here, I think they just here living their best life. And I think that's what other channels have been trying to tell them is wake up, do this and do that. But I'm not here to be somebody's mother either. We're just trying to say our experience and what we're up against for sure. But you may never have that issue.
Right.
Can't sit around worrying about it, but you can take some precautions. Don't sit around drinking nothing but soda and beer and smoking 2 packs of cigarettes a day and a gallon of whiskey. And this could happen, guys. I might be talking about a lot of people here and then expect to have no medical plan. It just can't happen. So.
Right. And live day by day would be nice. But few have that kind of money. Correct. Thanks, Hillbilly. Streak, how you doing? The whole Guam or U.S. plan is ridiculous. Impossible if you're really sick.
Mm-hmm.
It's the plan for people who have no plan. It's a concept, not a plan.
Yep, I would agree. Yeah, it's one of the options. It's not a full plan, no.
Yeah, Streak says, my grandfather was from Finland, never went to a doctor in his life, which I believe.
A lot of
Again,
people, that's said, I'm on that
there's some
100-year
people that
plan.
never
It's
get
either
sick, never, Well, I wouldn't say never. They probably have sniffles and stuff, but they never have to go to the hospital. Correct. Racetrack says, "Be smart, not stupid, with your life." Correct.
Yeah, I mean, some people are on that thing like, okay, well, if I avoid the doctor, then I won't know what my diagnosis is. But then there are other people that are like, I want to know my diagnosis so I can start treating it now. I think the guys arriving here on average in their 60s and 70s don't care about, that next plan of prevention at all. I just think they're beyond that situation. So as far as, the United States, sometimes I think they run too many tests. And I told George, I said, well, maybe we should be getting this test and this test and this test and that test. I'm like, well, even if we find out something, it's like, I don't know. Anyways, I'm not going to go into.
All right. John Ryan says, "Amen, Heidi." Hillbilly Pyro says, "I want a nice motorbike, but with the driving here, I don't buy one." If you are to buy one, don't buy anything bigger than a 400cc. And it's okay. Here's the deal: if you're gonna buy a motorcycle, buy one at 125cc or 150cc or a 400cc. You're like, why such weird numbers? The reason for 400cc is so you can take it to the interstate. If your motorcycle isn't 400cc, you can't take it to the interstate. If you're not going to go take the interstate, 150cc is adequate. You really don't need anything higher than that. That has enough oomph and everything, to be honest with you. Anything else is just more for props, like for looks, that kind of deal. Because honestly, you really won't get much out of that increased power. You know what I'm saying? So just so you guys know. And keep in mind, I was a biker, which means I really am very cautious when I drive. And I even have I have 4 mirrors on the car. I have those little mirrors that show the 360 mirrors or something like that, or 180 mirrors. I have those. And still, blind spots are real, guys. Like sometimes it's just a split second. I catch a glimpse of a motorcycle in my blind spot, and I'm like, thank goodness I turned my head around, because if I don't, I would have missed it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, be careful. Second one says, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much, second one. Victor C said, "Hey, Victor C, should people ring the bell?" Cheers, Heidi. Oh, thank you so
Yes.
much. Yes, ring the bell.
Ring that bell.
It'll be like
Ring
Pyro, not the
George's
worst
bell. I'm
way
gonna
to
ring
go.
George's
Oh,
bell.
he's talking about, and then correct. That's the way I would want to go. Correct. John Ryder, Lowell.
No.
Well,
I'm just saying you should have seen your face. That's what it looked like was going to happen the last time, the time before that, and the time before that. And how did you say you were going out?
that way.
That's how he says he's going down.
Correct.
The good old American way.
Hey, Victor. Jasmine says, actually, most well-paid Filipinos are not interested in overweight guys. Please don't get confused.
I was just thinking about, I'm proud to be an American. In an American.
There's an
Where at least
there's
I
an old
know
saying.
I'm free. So I proudly stand in. Never mind, the whole song just kind of matches.
Now keep in mind,
Proud to
the
be
Filipinos, when it comes to weight, they don't care. They'll call you fat or whatever. It's not a thing here. It's not offensive. So don't take offense to
It's
it.
all loving in the gloving.
The nicer ones say stuff like, "Oh, he has an inner tube."
At the end of the day, the wallet's still green, and the pecker,
Oh,
and
some
the pecker peck works just
at the end of the
same.
day, some, not all. Remember, not everybody has money. Not all expats have money.
No, I got that. We've been through that scenario. Cats, I'm telling you.
Hibiscus was curious about, because we be no one to advocate on your behalf. Right. Hey, California Bear, how you doing? Good morning.
Good morning.
Strick says Jasmine's right. The newer hospital here wanted to do much more expensive procedure in Josie, small hospital close to us did the same procedure, outpatient and cheap. John Ryder says blood tells you the blood test. He's talking about the blood test.
Yes.
Um,
Okay, for the
Ted
most
says,
part.
I sent you the tracking for your boxes. Thank you so much, Ted. I appreciate it so much.
Thank you. So
Now, this is kind of hard to veer
then
off.
Ted just put himself on the hook because he evidently just said he sent the tracking.
Yes,
So
thank you, Ted.
Ted is actually sent us a box on, actually 2 that are on its way from California. We are super excited. So
Hillbilly
box
says,
is for me.
right. Hillbilly says, I drink way too much soda and smoke, but it's getting,
Do it, George. Ready?
but it is getting
Do it, George.
nagged
Show
out
me
of
your
me.
excitement.
Right.
Ready? Show it. Yes.
Oh, I see. I was trying to figure out how it's that excited.
No, evidently not excited here. Let me see on buttons.
Stop.
Let me see.
Stop.
Come on, please.
Stop.
Please.
Streak says, Panther Hospital wants to do more tests like U.S. to pay for their overhead.
I drink way too much soda
Second
and
one
smoke,
says-
but it is getting
Second one-
getting nagged out of me.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, like I said, it's funny that we've heard over the last few months talk about people being overweight and eating this and doing that and all that. And I'm like, yeah, but some people are somewhat overweight and still eating, drinking, smoking, not wrapping their willy. There's a lot of them not even doing that. Like, and it's like, you don't realize that's almost a sentence in itself. It's like everybody just needs to take care. That's the
Well,
bottom line.
There's another thing. Some people are overweight
Someone
but
said-
are healthy.
Well, we all could use a little help and probably relieve some of the pain and some of the, but
No, I mean even cardiac wise, they're big and overweight, but they're healthy cardiac wise and everything.
I
They're
probably
just,
broke my hip.
they're
if
just
I wasn't this
overweight.
size. We talked about that.
just some
yeah.
people. Again,
I get it,
there's
get
a
it.
lot of misconception about overweight people and stuff. Second one says, I can let my hair out and pretend to be a pregnant ladyboy. There you go.
There it is.
Ted Dagan says, how about if I'm just ugly? Jasmine says, not at all,
No,
Miss
Miss
Heidi.
Or she said not all, Miss Heidi. Maybe she meant not at
Hillbilly
all.
says, I'm bummed. The kitten I took in did. Oh, yes,
Aw.
that's always heartbreaking. We're lucky that
That last kitten of ours was a challenge.
yeah, she had her foot. We
It's
swear.
totally mangled. We don't know. That's the one where we said that we don't know if those 2 teenagers just tossed her. She kept running
yeah.
back, tossed her, and we seen her out there just crying. She still like talks a lot like that. Looks like
Yeah,
it's just the way she
talks a lot.
talks.
Yeah.
But
She's
no,
the white kitten you see running around. Literally.
her foot is healed, and we just got her off the wet
Linda.
food. She's gained weight.
Linda.
So no, we were lucky, but it was really touch and go there for a little bit. She's been on antibiotics, and it was just kind of
Yeah.
So yeah, rest in peace, little buddy.
He was fine and caught a cold and died. Just too small to make.
Heartbreaking.
See, yeah, no, they're very fragile when they're young.
For somehow the guys actually lose weight here. Hillbilly Pirate said I lost around 75 pounds and went from a 44 to 38. I hear that a lot. I mean, not all the women do, but for some reason the guys do. And I wouldn't say, I guess it's because they changed some of their eating habits, and guys tend to lose the weight a lot quicker. And you guys.
Oh, it's mainly her, the new kitten. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but that's always good to hear. That is for sure.
Yeah, that's great news. That's great news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, I think we will wrap this up into the second hour, and it is Saturday, Friday night in the United States. So gonna get going.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Ted. Appreciate your help and your support and your ability buying boxes. Enigma's here with us today. Thank you so much. Sarah Tyson was with us
Ed was
today
in the
too.
house. Sarah, thank you to all of our
Victor
members.
C was with us today.
Guys, consider membership. We do have different levels of membership currently that we're running. Additional
Yeah.
videos and photos, a lot of photos, different posts, polls.
Racer X, Jasmine, Pee Wee Barnes, I think
Our
Brian Nichols.
Philippine
Smile and
Journey
Be
was in the
Happy was with us today.
house.
Yes, Mike, our Philippine Journey was with us today. CBGB, MB, one in the pink. Sorry, that always makes me laugh. K Dallas, hey K Dallas, thanks for being here with us today. Yumi Mango was with us today. Thanks so much.
Jasmine, Sam Sag, Thaddeus,
Yes, Sam
Devil
Stag, Thaddeus,
Fire,
yes. Streak, of
John
course.
Ryder, Street.
And John Ryder, yes. Hey, John, yes. Thank you so much for being with us. Appreciate it. Appreciate you all, guys.
See you next time, Tuesday. It would
Have a
be
good
Monday
day,
for the
everyone.
US.
Thanks for the live streaming. You all have a great day. Thank you. I just stumbled on you.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you for stumbling on us, Jasmine. Welcome. Ted says, have a great day, everyone. Jeep Man, good day. Good day, all. See you next time. And Ray Sark says, peace.
Hey,
Sometimes, even
Dallas.
after death, it's you ain't right. You ain't right. Bye, K Dallas. Bye, Victor. Night night, Sarah.
Good night,
Love you all.
guys.
Bye.